Are we live? Yes, we are live. Audio is fine. Is anyone in here? Rajeshika. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hello, R. Matthews. Hello, Isha ZX. My day is quite good. It's actually the evening here. So my day is finished and decided to jump on to progress a little bit more in terms of the Kubernetes stuff. Just getting my stuff set up. Victor Garcia. Breslin Joshua. Wakanda ROE. Hey Vasilios, becoming a big fan of you. I just want to say you don't need to go work for anyone else. You should contract for them and then do a podcast. I'd like that. That would be a nice setup. You got recommended my video when it was just 30,000 people. Wow. And now it's at like 2 million or something? Can I share any links to documentation or resources as I demonstrate something live? You mean like links? You want links in the chat? After I'm done with this sort of study that I'm doing on this topic, I'm most likely going to distill everything I learned into a single video. So, for example, when I get to a point where I'm comfortable with Kubernetes, I know I recently made a video on like what I've learned so far, but there's still more content that I need to create in terms of, okay, the year is 2026. This is how you set up Kubernetes in the most like least friction way possible. So I'm yet to do that. I saw other YouTubers doing videos about it. I was like, no way. YouTube gave me that video super early. Nice. You're a vibe coder. Does that mean that you don't have a software background, but you're now like making programs using AI tools? Oh, enjoy. Yes, the recording will be up. I am not on Adderall. Why do you say that? Do I seem energetic? I have not used K9S. Oh wait, I did use K9S, didn't I? Yeah. I found it a little confusing, but I think if someone was more familiar with Kubernetes, then they would enjoy K9S. But I kind of like not logging onto clusters and managing them. The distro is Pop OS. I know this is going to be asked so many times. Canines. Oh, canines, of course. Of course. Do I think you should switch to Kubernetes versus Docker? I don't know. I think if okay, dude. You gotta chill, all right? You gotta chill, okay? I know you're excited about Adderall, but just chill. Yeah, so my feeling about canines is that it's cool. I like terminal user interfaces, love them. But I think that as an operator, like as a professional, that you shouldn't really be logging into servers and opening TUIs and stuff on them and stuff like that. Personally, did I work on DevOps part? What do you mean by that? The last thing I had going, I got to log into the console. I don't take Adderall. Actually, I said I don't. I don't take. I don't. I don't have any medication. So no medication for anything at all. The plan for today is I want to finally get a pod running and logging into a server if I can. And then after that, I want to investigate Cluster API a little bit. And then I want to investigate Kube Spray because this was recommended by a few people. I don't understand why like you want to get timed out or something. But anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. So I've got to currently run the pipeline to provision the stack again because I ripped everything down. And we can get the cluster up and see what happens. I should create my own EKS using kubeadm. Do you mean like making a product? Like my own managed Kubernetes? Is that what you're suggesting? Guys, the next person to mention Adderall, you're just going to get timed out. Anyone who mentions it, I'm timing you out immediately from this point onwards. Okay. Video for mastering data structures and algorithms. You just have to practice, dude. Get on LeetCode. Get on NeetCode as well. Hey, like I warned you guys, okay? Just stop talking about it, okay? Anyway, infrastructure is getting provisioned. And then if everything's working all right, I should be able to log into like a Valheim game server. And DevOps interview not need LeetCode. You'd be surprised actually. More and more interviews are now incorporating coding challenges because it's, I don't know why, but it just seems like now everyone has to be able to code to some extent. It's all right, guys. Don't worry about the spam. I'll handle it. No big deal. You're surprised at how many people want to get coding jobs instead of owning a product or making something and selling it themselves. Well, are you surprised by that? Because it's actually it's hard to it's risky. People don't want to take the risk, invest in making a product and then selling it. Like I would do that, but for, even for me, I'm not sure exactly what kind of product I want to sell, and I don't know, it doesn't seem that simple. Like, let's think about this for a second, right? Might as well. Everyone's heard about in recent times how GitHub has had some reliability issues, right? And people are fed up with GitHub. Some people are even moving off GitHub to other hosts, Git hosting providers, right? So that to me, when I see that kind of pattern happening, I think to myself, well, maybe now is the time to try to make a business around Git and making it super reliable, pouring a lot of focus into making it nice to use and that kind of thing. But, you know, I mean, surely there is money in that market because I'm sure like, let's look at this GitHub annual gross, let's say net profit. Are they profitable? They don't publicly report separate net profit figures, but they have 26 billion in quarterly revenue. So like that's a lot of money, right? So you've got tons of money in that market. People are angry at the product, okay? And so that to me smells like an opportunity. I don't know. If you can take 1% of that profit, I don't know. That seems not bad, right? So what's stopping us? I don't know. I don't know. Just if it was that easy, GitHub itself could do it. So probably it's not the best strategy to go for it without a lot of funding. Exactly. Like nothing is that simple, right? All right. So some of the infrastructure is coming up now. A good backend project. Make a good backend project. Make something like WhatsApp. If I were you with your position, the first thing I would do is go to one of the major AI companies, go to a major provider and say, hey, I will do videos and teach people how to build on your platform. Really? What's my main programming language? The programming language that I've used the most is Python. Are you learning or revising Kubernetes? I'm currently learning Kubernetes. If you haven't seen my recent video, I went through a few steps of trying to get it set up, running in a way that was satisfying for me. I've never, I've probably only spent like half an hour on C++. How do I showcase Kubernetes projects? I don't know. From Bitbucket's engineering blog, I gathered Django was the main framework. Was that true across Atlassian, or was Fast API the default? When I joined, they were still using Flask, and Python support wasn't like huge. It was more of a Java thing. That was Java and Golang were the more supported languages. But yeah, they did eventually go from Flask to Fast API. But Django is considered like, in the Python world, it's considered something with a lot more batteries included. And for a microservice, you might not actually need everything that Django offers. How to mention the backend project and show to recruiters. You could make a diagram of how your backend system works. That would probably be the most appropriate way to showcase it. I could get 1,000 just from Amazon. Use Cloudflare? I think the Primeagen needs to interview you. Really? What kind of questions do you think the Primeagen would ask me? Okay, what's this? It's doing. Okay, so here's where we're up to right now. We've got the infrastructure. We've got Cilium bootstrapped. We've got the gateway APIs. And then we've tried to get Argo CD bootstrapped, but it doesn't like this. This here, custom resource definition, is invalid. Can you guys see this? It's probably hard to see, right? This here. Apparently I have some annotations that are too long. So let's see. What do we have? Application sets.argo project. Network policies. Do I have something like this? Oopsie. What have I done? No, I don't think. Where am I running and deploying my infra? On Amazon Web Services. What's my take on AI? I think it's fine at the moment. I think people are hyping it too much, but it's a good tool. So we got our control plane, we got our workers. Something's wrong with Argo. So we got our old Kubernetes stuff, which I don't think I'm using anywhere anymore. And then I don't need the CloudFormation anymore. So we're creating the infrastructure with Pulumi. I actually quite like Pulumi. I'm kind of impressed with it. It's nice. And then we have our Kubernetes stuff here. We've got the Bootstrap, root application, and this has Argo. And then we have namespaces. So I reckon it's something with this file here that is not going right. Am I planning to build any SaaS product? I wouldn't say plan. I have like ideas, but I'm not committing to any at the moment. I need you to help me with my app. We can split the revenue. I don't know. What's your app? Yes, I like NeoVim. I've been using NeoVim for, I don't know, over a year, I guess. That's fucking weird, dude. So let's look at this. We are going to utilize AI to figure out what's going wrong here. You just started using NeoVim. Any plugin that I like that you should check out. Yes. You're going to need, let me just launch this to this AI for a second, and then I'll answer your question. So we've got K80's Bootstrap root application .yml.yaml, and then we're going to paste that, and then we're going to say, I might be wrong about which file related to that. So let me take you to my dot files, and we're going to look at my plugins. And the big ones for me are going to be Telescope. Telescope is the thing where it opens a fuzzy finder, so I can look through my files. Telescope, for me, it's essential. The second one would be NeoGit, which opens a thing that lets you look at your Git stuff and stage things, do commits, push, rebases, whatever. So that's another one. For me personally, I have this little one called key menu, where my key bindings show up in this little square when I hit my leader key. And then you can see the letters. So like if I press T, lowercase t, it's going to go to my telescope menu. And then these are all the commands under my telescope key binding that I can use. So I can do, diagnostics. There's no diagnostics. But then I can do find files, or I can do my recent files, or I can do, a grep, or something like that. TRF Bind, thank you for the £2. That's pounds, right? What are my thoughts on Salesforce development? I've never done any Salesforce development. I actually know someone who worked for Salesforce. I don't know. I could ask them about it, but I don't have much of an opinion. I need to apply the CRDs server side only. Can you explain what you mean by that exactly? AI says Envoy is overkill. What overkill for what? Just running. It's just a proxy. I should collab with NeetCode to create a Kubernetes and system design type LeetCode platform. That's cool, man. I mean, if he's open to it. We'll see. I've got his contact now, so I could, if he comes up with ideas and he wants me involved, then I'm happy to be involved. He seems like a really cool guy and very intelligent. Your app, you want multiple users. Thought it would be an extra layer of security. It's well, Envoy's not bad to run on like a home server, but I wouldn't say it's overkill. You need to apply the CRDs server side only to fix the issue. But the thing is, my control plane is Talos, so I can't log into it. So I don't know. We're currently bootstrapping, right? So anti-gravity is saying the error occurs during the installation or upgrade of Argo. By default, it runs a client-side apply. It attempts to store the entire YAML config of the resource inside a metadata annotation. Okay, so now what you said makes more sense of this server-side thing, right? How did you know that that was the case? You've done this before, I'm guessing. So it's updated deploy.yaml to include server-side for the gateway CRDs and the Argo thing. All right, so let's try that then. It's modified this one. Let's see. Where are the changes? Okay, that's fine. apply CRDs server side. And then we'll just see what happens there, I guess. What am I planning to build? At this point, we're just trying to get Kubernetes running. I'm creating the infrastructure with Pulumi. The control plane and the workers are running Telos Linux. And I'm trying to get them bootstrapped so that I can get my first pod and then just connect into it. What is a control plane? Control plane is kind of a generic term for something that, you know, its responsibility is to control other things, components in a system. In the context of Kubernetes, the control plane is like the master node, which makes sure that the workers have the correct pods and all this kind of stuff. Do I memorize code or it just becomes natural? When you say memorize code, do you mean like the syntax? Do you mean particular patterns? Or do you mean like actual blocks of code? Keyboard sounds very good. It is a Newfie keyboard. I have a link in on my channel, which is an affiliate link for Newfie. What am I using Cilium for? It's the networking driver. It's network. I can't remember the term for it. Network plugin. Container network interface. So you can choose one or the other. There's Flannel and Cilium, and Cilium seems to be the one that's like more supported in the industry and whatnot. More popular, I guess. What resource am I using for Kubernetes? So I started with Kubernetes the hard way. I didn't like it. And then since then, I've kind of been prompting LLMs to figure out what's the modern way of doing stuff. It's pretty cool how fast you research and put together best stack. You reckon it's the best stack? Am I running the best stack? I guess for me, I have a pretty low tolerance for frustration. I get frustrated real quick. So when setting up Kubernetes is hard, for me it's like there has to be a better way than this. So yes, Flux, I've heard people mentioning Flux a lot. That's in the same space as Argo, is that correct? Flux and Argo, they're like the same things? Okay, so we got the gateway APIs, but they were okay before. Now we're on to Argo. It says the namespace already exists. That's fine. We're applying Argo things. You have to fight the urge to stop doing what I'm doing and get back to something easier. Yeah. The struggle is real. What your job role at the moment? I'm under an NDA. I can't tell anyone. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Flux is law. It's Flux CD, right? I'm still learning all these tools. How much am I paying for the setup? Let me check my bills. $13 so far. Not bad. Oh, okay. So we're past. Wait, what's this? We got past some of the Argo steps. Did we? No. Process completed with exit code 1. Is this too big, this text? You really liked the continuous delivery video by Jez Humble. Yes, it's a great video and it's great advice and it's a good mentality to adopt because, like the title of the talk, sounds great but won't work here. I find that's a cynical like title and it's very intentional. It is like 10 days. For my for that billing, it's been like a week. Is the bootstrap idempotent? That's what I'm aiming for. I want to be able to, run this again and again, and it should work. Apply failed with one conflict. Using spec blah blah blah. Okay, let's just pop this into anti-grav. We progressed, but then hit this. What was the motivation for going straight to AWS? Basically, oh yeah, so I didn't want to do K3S because I wanted the full Kubernetes experience, and AWS because I felt like I didn't have enough hardware locally to run a full Kubernetes setup. So here's the interesting thing. Some of the CIDs were applied before, they need to be replaced. So here's the thing that has thrown me a little bit is that the promise of these stuff like Talos Linux is that they're immutable. I got the impression, or at least it was marketed to me, that say if I made a mistake, that I wouldn't be left with a partial state or a corruption, right? But it seems like it's just unavoidable. Maybe it's not unavoidable. Maybe I'm just holding it wrong. But if you ask me, if software can be held wrong, then it hasn't been designed well enough. So it's saying because we had there's a conflict, so we can just force it to say override it. Right? And I suppose that won't be really super harmful, I guess. Force conflicts. So what did Jimmy say? I want to be a good software developer. I get demotivated quickly, but I understood that I need to keep learning continuously. Could you give advice on how to get a job or an internship? And then Omar said, I would say you're going to have a tough time if you're getting demotivated. That's yes, correct. Basically, the thing that makes a programmer able to learn how to program is that when they meet adversity, they continue and they go through the frustration and the headache and the struggle and the confusion and the mental pain, and eventually you learn and you get through it. So if you are not feeling confused and demotivated and uncomfortable and stressed and angry and all this, then I would say you're not doing it correct. You have to feel bad. Everything feels impossible, and then once it clicks, it's like you look back and you think, well, that was easy. What kind of, like, it was super easy. Why didn't I see that, It's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. You're a senior backend engineer and love reading in depth like database, internals of Java, Kafka, and any other library or technology. That is a gift. to enjoy doing that. It's a gift. Any info? AWS AI ML Scholars Program. I don't know. Sorry. Don't know anything about any of that. So while this is deploying, what is the appeal of Flux? Flux and Flagger deploy apps with canaries, feature flags, and A/B rollouts. That sounds pretty cool. It can manage any Kubernetes resource. Infrastructure and workload dependency management is built in. Which one is good for microservices, Golang or TypeScript? Golang. Flux CD is older tech, so is Argo the new player then? Well, the $13 that I've paid, you have to keep in mind that I have destroyed and recreated machines several times. And each time you do that, you get billed for an hour, right? So it's really my inefficient use of it. Is my face covered with shadow? What's going on? Let me see. Let me see this. How am I going to better put my face in the camera? The problem is that I have a light right there, and then I have my microphone also right here. So, anyhow, let me see. Is it still doing it? Okay, I'm gonna move my microphone a little bit to the side. Which one is good, AWS or Hetzner? I don't know. Whatever you can afford, really. Just finished templatizing and packaging my first Helm chart with 11 microservices. Cool. Nighttime in Sydney? Yes, it's 10 o'clock. I inspired many people who has a degree but no skills. How is that possible to have a degree but no skills? Oh, look at this. We've got a green deploy. So we've got Argo. We've got all this. Now, so if that's the case, does that mean that what do I prefer, Rust or Go? I prefer Rust over every programming language. Ocelot to Envoy. What's that? I've never even heard of that. It's an API gateway. This thing? How is Neat Code in real life? Well, I saw him just online. We use some like meeting app, but he's great. Good guy. Why Rust over every programming language? It would be a long answer to that question. So I'll answer that about Rust, and then I'm going to check into whether my pods are running on this. So why Rust? Why do I like Rust? Because Rust has constraints baked into the language, which for me makes it so that a lot of the stuff like error handling and checking invariants. You have to handle it up front very early when you're making the program, rather than finding out that something's broken when you deploy it or when you start running the program. And for me, I quite like that. I think that the earlier that you can deal with something, one sec. Excuse me. The earlier that you can deal with something when writing a program, the better. It's cheaper when it's earlier in the project. So Rust is very strict, and for that reason, I like it. It has lots of protections that you don't have to think about. I don't have a university degree. I taught myself. Do I do leak code? Yeah, I've probably done like 50 questions on leak code. How did I learn Rust? Let me tell you. The first thing I did was I read the Rust book. You should be able to get through this by just 1 to 2 hours a week, really. Any more than that, and you should be able to fly through this. You can probably cover several chapters in an hour. Just do a couple chapters at a time. And by the end of this, you should feel relatively comfortable. And then after that, I would recommend that you go and do the Rustlings. Rustlings is a project on GitHub, where it's full of snippets of code, and they have tests, and you have to fix the snippets of code so that the tests pass. So it's got all these exercises. You go through all these. And then the next thing I would do is probably go on, say, LeetCode or NeetCode. Let's say you go to NeetCode. And then you look at the roadmap. And you complete this triangle here. Just that triangle. And then you could go to Exorcism. The video is going to be uploaded. And you could do, say, one of the language tracks for Exorcism. And by this point, if you're a quarter way through this and you still kind of aren't sure about a project to do, then just keep going. It's a lot of work to do this. It's easier said than done. But let's say you get through this thing. You implement like 5 of these or 10 of these. Then maybe you have a project idea. So you go do your project. And then maybe you could go on and look for a book. For example, Rust for Rustaceans. This is probably the last thing that I would do. Before this, I would look at Zero to Production in Rust. This book will teach you Rust and backend engineering in the same book. So you go through this, you apply yourself, you'll know backend engineering, you'll know Rust, and then you really want to become a master. You go through Rust for Rustaceans. And then at the end of that, you could be a consultant. It's a lot of work that I just laid out for you. How difficult was it to switch my mental model to Rust's ownership model? It took some time. To be honest, for me, I was more confused by lifetimes, not by ownership. I actually found ownership and borrowing quite easy, because the key things you have to think about is there's really like 3 types of ownership in a way. There's the move semantics, which is when you literally a value moves, for example, into a function, it's no longer available in the outer scope. That's moving. Then there's immutable borrows, where you are passing the value by reference and it is read only. And then there is mutable borrows, where, by the way, with immutable borrows, you can have many immutable borrows at the same time. So you can share an immutable reference with many different functions if you wanted to. That's fine. But if you want to do a mutable reference, you can only share that with one thing at a time. So it's like a read-write kind of thing, kind of borrow. So ownership borrow, that's how I think of it. We hype Rust. We seriously think you all Rust is future? Did Atlassian have some projects coded in Rust? I had some Rust projects, yes, in Atlassian. And there were other teams that were writing in Rust too, but also lots of Golang and Java. So I said that I would answer the question on Rust, and I think that covers it quite well. I think that if you follow that path, you'll have no problems. Now, I want to see if my pod's running. So is Rust a backend language? I think you could use it for your backend. Yeah, why not? How do I keep myself motivated? Find a way for what you're studying to be relevant to you. Think of it like this. If I learn Kubernetes, for example, and I add that to my repertoire of skills for my career, and it gets me a role, say at a company, and I'm getting paid 20 grand more than I would normally get paid because I know Kubernetes, then if I spend 2 weeks learning Kubernetes, then that 2 weeks is worth $20,000 a year. So like, if someone gave you $20,000 to do 2 weeks of study, would you take it? Recurring every year, by the way. So you have to figure out, like, how is the knowledge relevant to you? How is the skill relevant to you? And well, it's if you can put a dollar value, if I learn this, then I will be able to go and do this, right? Maybe if I learn Kubernetes really well, I can then coach others or train, I don't know. For me personally, it gives me an unlock for platform engineering roles where they're like, thank you for applying to the role. We hope that you know Kubernetes. If I don't, I'm screwed. The issue is you don't see any results soon. That's why motivating yourself is hard. Yeah, I agree. What's it saying? It's saying basically to run taloctl to check. But here's the problem, is that I've set this up in such a way that I can't actually hit this. I guess I could open the security groups, couldn't I? Let me see this. Where do you find a spot for Rust in Cloud Native? Cube, Terra, and all of that are written in Go. So here's an example, right? Envoy proxy. Envoy proxy is written in C++. But Envoy proxy has extensions. Where are they? Extensions. And then network filters. I think it is. Or HTTP filters. And then let's say dynamic modules. So you could run Envoy, but maybe Envoy does not do everything you need, right? So then, well, you need to write some custom code for it to do what you want. Well, one way you can do that is with a dynamic module. And the dynamic modules, you have to write in C++, or you could write it in Rust. It's arguably easier to write a Rust module than it is for C++. It's more performant than Golang. And Envoy is a network proxy that needs to be high performing. So it's a pretty good use case to throw Rust in there, I would say. So I need to find out a way to figure out the, let's see. Check if UDP port is listening, maybe? Which one is going to have the server running on it? We're going to have load balancers, right? API server. Do I have a link? Yeah, this is fine. Topato. This one. Bastion machine plus Tailscale. Yeah, maybe. Envoy or Nginx? I don't know. I would say Envoy. Just personal preference, though. In the... Can you determine whether home server is configured to run, and is it configured to create an Envoy UDP route plus AWS load balancer that I can access it over the public internet? You got inspired by my stream to set up your own Talos cluster, and you ran Nginx deployment exposed as a node port service. That's cool. I don't even know what a node port is. What workloads will I deploy? At the moment, I'm just trying to run a Valheim game server. And like, it's just for a test, you know. Here is the breakdown. Yes, both the server and Envoy UDP routing via AWS are fully configured to be accessible over the public internet. Defines this. Server deployment defines that. Persistent volume claim. Exposes the ports. Blah, blah, blah. So are you telling me if I was to in here we've got this annotation. It instructs the AWS Cloud Controller Manager to provision an NLB. But here's the thing, I don't see the NLB. I don't see the NLB. Node port is a way to expose something outside the cluster IP. But does node port need the worker to have a public IP? Like if I'm accessing it from outside? Minecraft server's a good one also. Do I use Vim, NeoVim? Yes. Do I think it's useful? It's just personal preference. Most people are using VS Code. If agents can orchestrate infrastructure, optimize systems, and redesign workflows in seconds, what will be left for system architects? Do they currently? Do they do that at the moment? How do I get one of those? You're aware that I have been guiding LLMs to get this whole thing working for almost a full week. And we're not even at the basic setup yet. So either I am like completely, like my brain is completely busted, or the AI is not that good, or something else. Node port requires worker nodes to open up ports to the public internet. Yeah, so my worker nodes, they have they do have ephemeral public IPs, but I think what I'd rather is that the I've got AWS Cloud Controller Manager. It's supposed to create a load balancer that goes to the worker node. It's supposed to. But I don't see that happening right now. If you use ALB on top, you need to have an ALB controller running on your cluster to automatically assign the target groups to the right nodes. Right. Well, I just have this one, and it has the 2 listeners, but I'm pretty sure this is for the control plane, because it's hitting the API server or Talos, and those are, as far as I understand, both on the control plane. Wait, that means I should be able to hit this for the oh wait, no, the security groups are locked down though. You think I need to set up target groups for the workers? Well, I guess that shouldn't be too hard. I would just have to edit the Pulumi. Where are the workers? So we've got the worker launch template, and we've got the autoscaling group down here. And then I would just need to create a target group and then register the dudes into it. Is it that way? Let me see this. Launch template. We got this one for the worker. And then what can you do with it? It's already got a... No, so we got the target group is just for the control plane, I think. Targets. Control plane. But we have an ASG for the workers. So then I forget which way it goes. The web UI is not as good as the CLI, but that's from the Azure experience. I've never used Azure. Do I need to learn networking as well as DevOps? I need to have some knowledge of networking, yeah. This is cloud engineering right here. Uh-huh. Can't reuse control plane load balancer. Correct. It has to. They have to have their own. But my thinking was, I thought that the let me see this. Added a step, list pods, check for failures, briefly waits, then gives Argo a short window to reconcile, lists the nodes and pods, scans for unhealthy pods. Yeah, okay. Ship it. Wait, what have I done here? I didn't do this. User to LB. Oh yeah, it's set up the security group so I can hit the Talos API. That's fine. Allow my IP to hit Talos. Oh no, that IP is going to be the GitHub runner. Upload kube config and Talos config, and then I don't think I want it to upload them. Path. Artifact. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, whatever. It's going to do these commands, get nodes, get pods. Then it's going to look for the ones that have unhealthy states. Then it is going to loop over the namespace and the name and the phase, describe the pod, and then dump its logs. Debug pods nodes. Machines understand machines better. I don't know, do they? Because LLMs have been trained on human inputs, not machine inputs. What NeoVim theme is this? This is one called NeoVim theme. I think it's called Edge. Yeah, this one. SAINNHE. Edge. How much would be the market share of Kubernetes plus Docker deployments versus micro VMs, Firecracker, etc.? I have no idea. Probably Kubernetes is mostly what's out there. Can you tell me what I'm trying to achieve? Basically, it seems like I've deployed the control plane and workers. They've been bootstrapped, but now I have no visibility into whether the pods are running. And I expected an NLB to be created so that I could access one of the pods in particular. Load balancer to Istio Ingress Gateway IP in EKS, prefix-based virtual service, service object pod. Well, I'm not using EKS and I'm not using Istio. I'm just using Envoy Gateway, which is for north-south traffic. So my understanding is that Envoy Gateway will set up an Envoy proxy pod, and if I give it, let me see. We've got this, let's see, the Valheim server and the Valheim app, right? We've got the PVC for the storage. Then we have the container here for the deployment. And then down here we have a service. And then further down we have a UDP route. And my understanding is that this UDP route will be put into the Envoy gateway. And then the Envoy gateway will, I don't know what this is all about, but gateway class controller, AWS NLB proxy. Yeah, so I thought that Envoy Gateway would create an NLB and point it at these pods with these UDP routes. First, to access a service inside the cluster, you will need a load balancer controller running inside the cluster. I think I have that. I think I have the controller, but I'm not sure because I have no visibility into what I'm running because it's all been done through the GitHub runner. Then you will create a target group binding between the ALB and the service. Second, to access the Kubernetes API server, either you allow the control plane access from your IP or a bastion. I actually want to not interact with it manually at all. It is unfortunate that I even have to do this. But let's say, can I download this whole thing? Let's just grab this, right? Just open Pop OS looks clean. Yeah, it's nice, man. It's good. No unhelp. Oh, look at this. Crash loop back off. And the cloud controller manager is in crash loop back off too. So that to me makes me think, since this is broken, that means it's not going to create the NLB. Then we've got also EBS. The EBS stuff is in crash loop back off. So this one here, it says no unhealthy pods, which is crazy. I ran it and it said no unhealthy, which is wrong. Here's the log. This is the moment where kubectl for debugging this locally would be very helpful. Okay. Well, yeah, you're right, because I would be able to just dump the logs, right? If I gave the agent ability to verify reality, but that's the problem, is I'm doing a GitHub I'm running it through GitHub Actions. So like, how do you hook in the agent to the GitHub action without it being absolutely exploded with context? Look, I can give myself full access. My IP, and hopefully this doesn't overwrite it. Is something running right now? It might overwrite me. Okay, it's not. That's good. So now I should be able to access the load balancer on, where is it? Here's the DNS name. So let's say, do I have kubectl? See, I don't even have kubectl. Okay. Install, let's say talosctl. Let's grab talosctl. Don't think it matters. No, it can see the source code for your action, then verify against AWS via the CLI kubectl, and then it can make changes and then rerun it. Yeah, yeah. So, well, I would need these tools installed. You're right, but I need to open the security group and then allow the agent to talk to it, which it's attempted to do that multiple times, and I stopped it. So yeah, probably. Looks scary? What's scary? When do I know that Kubernetes is ideal over a monolithic on a single VPS? I don't know what light sail is, to be honest. Am I downloading malware? Yeah, Homebrew works on Linux. This is a learning, so I guess the live stream watching AI isn't too appealing. Well, I'm still using AI for a bunch of stuff. I'm just kind of doing it in my way, which is like setting up, you know, at least attempting to set up a deterministic build where I can destroy my whole infrastructure and then recreate it, in one click. But yeah, probably could have done that by also giving access to run kubectl. So now let's say, okay. Did I look at this already? Pasta, blah blah blah. Uh, I don't even know what I would run against the thing. Tell us CTL health, for example. Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to run. Do I only have the Breitling Premier? I have also the Breitling B01. I still need kubectl, huh? Apparently I have it. But this needs a config file to be somewhere, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I need like I need to down. They should be in here as an artifact. Deploy. Wait. It's back there. Artifacts. Okay. So let's say we go to, where is it? Cube stuff. We can drop these. And then, what was the, let me see this. GitHub, workflows, deploy. Does it, kubectl -- kube config. Does this work? All right, let me just hide this for a sec. Because there's keys in here. It's got the ALB, so that looks correct. Like if I cat this, kube config, and then grep AWS, right? It's got this ALB in there. Let me catch up. I have to get telctl to spit out kube config. So I've got the kube config. Don't show them on stream. Correct. Yeah, anyone can download them, but no one has access to the ports except me. So it's safe. But this command didn't. No resources found. Okay. So we can actually access it. All right. Cool. All right. Then. Yep. We got the pods. Now, what was it? Describe. And then. Oh, look. This one's actually. It's okay now. But it's had 12 restarts. What the fuck is that about? And then we've got these ones here that have had crash loop backoffs. So let's just see this guy. All right. No. Okay. Apparently not for that one. Is it more like this? Pod name. Pod name. What? Like EBS CSI controller slash? Doesn't have. Flags cannot be placed before plugin name. Oh, just pod before the pod name. Okay, hold on. All right, cool. We got some information. Successfully assigned, pulled images, container started, successfully pulled, created, back off restarting failed container. Already present on machine and can be accessed by the pod. So, okay, so let me look at the pods again. Refused. Why refused? Did something happen? What the hell happened? Is it dead? What the? Did it die? Wait. What do you mean install kubectl? I'm using kubectl. I can't even connect, so there's nothing that an agent would be able to do here. They don't have SSM because they're running Talos Linux. They can't run that. Unhealthy. It's unhealthy right now. What's happened? Give it a kick, I guess. In the meantime, what was this thing that was added? First of all, I'm gonna commit all these. Remove old configs. Now, what's it done here? Bad pods. Let me just open this a bit bigger. Remove the actions from your public repo. They have access to kubeconfig. Yeah, I know, but they don't have. No one has network access to it. It's not open to the public internet. It's open to my IP and only to the GitHub runner while it's running. The Talos AMI has the agent baked in? Really? Status check failed. Probably because the control plane's dead. You have access to them over the public internet. Do you? Well, that's an easy fix. We'll blow away the whole thing. That's surprising to me because, let's see, where's the security group? Security group. So here, 6443 is, oh, okay. That, I didn't realize it had that. That's bad. There is no reason for, I wonder why I did that. Yeah, I wonder why I did that. Maybe did I get annoyed with the GitHub runner or something like that? I think, let me check if the GitHub, if the Pulumi is still like, because the Pulumi code, let me see, runner IP. See, it's what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to set up so that the GitHub runner can access it while it's running, but then it closes it off afterwards. But somehow, somewhere, I've allowed everyone. I don't see where I've allowed that. Let's see. Your IP. that should be like, let me confirm what that is exactly. Oh my goodness. Look at this, guys. This is what happens when you get an LLM to write your shit. It's trying to get this fucking IP address, but it's not getting any value, so it defaults to opening it to the entire world. Insanity. That's crazy. What consequences could that have? In this case, I guess someone could hit the API server and then try to like spawn pods, and they could try to use the AWS Cloud Controller Manager to create resources. But yeah. So yeah, that needs to change. Let's say, what's this? Yeah, pretty much run whatever you wanted in the cluster, but that could include creating Amazon resources. Off topic, but nice watch. My watch is a Breitling. Let me show you. Let me see if I can show you. It is a Breitling Premier B09. Yeah, that's probably not in focus, but it doesn't matter. What's each EC2 VM config? They're just running Talos Linux. Is it a thing that could run up a huge bill? Yeah, they could, I guess. How many dollar dues did that set you back for the watch? $12,500. $12,500. Sorry. Yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn. Send me a message. Say something funny about the security group or whatever. I'll find you. So let's see. I want the Pulumi code. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I've got like check IP here, right? I've got this fucking code here where we're getting the runner IP, but then it was doing, what was it? Your IP. Yeah, so I just don't want this at all, right? I don't want that at all. We don't need these rules. If I want to, I can come back here and like hard code my static IP address in there. How much were I paid? Was I paid when I was working there? I don't really feel comfortable answering that question. CPU and memory for each? They're T3 mediums, so they're very cheap. Did I learn all this, or did someone teach you? I learned it. I'd love to self-host. Sadly, I'm stuck on fiber to the node, so got a server colo at Equinox. Oh, that's cool, man. Do you get to walk into Equinox, into your own rack, or is someone doing the white glove service for you? What's the goal here? Are you trying to spin up your own Kubernetes instance? Why not managed? Yeah, it's literally a a learning exercise where I am trying to get Kubernetes running so that, let's just say, I could manage Kubernetes rather than someone else managing it for me. And in that process, trying to learn like what's the best, easiest way to manage them. So the deep revision completed. We should now have some other actions going on. Did you learn because of curiosity or need it? Kind of a mixture of both. There is so much value in setting it up yourself. Yeah, I guess. I'm still not at the point, like, I've spent, put it this way, I could have had it all running by now. And I'm sure many other people would have had it running sooner than how long I've taken to do it. Like, if I just went through the Kubernetes the hard way guide, like mindlessly, I probably could have done it in a day. But as you can see, I'm doing things in a way that's maybe considered frustrating. I've got a little bit of an error here because of the stuff I deleted. And yeah, it might be frustrating, but I'm doing it this way because I just want to have, my build set up in a particular way and have it reproducible and just dumb or autistic things, I guess. You can have your own runner. For what? My own GitHub runner? You recently made a switch from PM to software engineer at the age of 30. That's pretty cool, man. Enjoying what I do now, though, but all these AI push make it feel suffocating. Can you describe how it makes you feel suffocated? Runners. You're telling me I can have my own? Oh, self-hosted runner. That's cool, man. I didn't know this. Look at this. Huh. I didn't know this. Yeah, I didn't know. What a fancy feature. I got to check this out later. I won't do it right now. Because I think we're good on the security front. We've removed the security rule that was horrific. There's an expectation to use AI constantly to ship things. But you also know that it will slow down your learning. Does it slow down your learning though? Because are you reviewing the code that it's producing? And are you improving what it's producing? You refining it down, questioning it. There was something I said the other day when I was streaming, like last week or whatever it was, where for the longest time, people have been trying to get software engineers to deliver things faster. And how that looked 5 to 10 years ago was people would say stuff like, you don't have to write so many tests, or you don't have to, you shouldn't have a separate QA team where the work gets blocked on a QA team before it goes to production, blah, 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 all this. So, like, I feel like there's been this trend of just, we want devs to just be, shipping constantly, high velocity. And LLMs, I suppose, have just made it worse. But what I will say is that I don't know. I just feel like it's probably not going to happen, but collectively, people have to be able to push back and say, I'm going to deliver it as fast as I can, but I'm going to deliver it so it's right. And there's like a balance there to find the right amount of speed versus quality. I think because at the end of the day, you are getting paid to help a business, and speed is incredibly important in a business. Um, but sometimes, if like the quality bar is dropping so low because it's just LLMs vomiting code out all day, I think that's a serious problem. But also, yeah. So yes, I do within the boundaries that I was given, as a timeline. Maybe I'm a boomer. I just feel like you're 30 years old, man. You're younger. You're younger than me. I think if people aren't careful with how they use AI, then they might get cooked. But for me personally, I know there's parts of this project uh, that I'm totally, let's say, a lot of this I didn't write. A lot of this I did not write. Like this launch template, I didn't write it. But I already know how to write a launch template, so it's not a big deal. I've written stuff like this in the past, so it's okay. These YAML files for Kubernetes, I'm really unfamiliar with. They were written by Gemini. So, but here's what I do. Like, let's say for leak code problems, just open Gemini, and this is how I personally learn using LLMs without my brain rotting away. Let's say, give me a worked example, i.e., steps broken down, worked like a math problem for leak code, and then you can just type a random number here, 137. So if you just tell the LLM, give me the solution to leak code 137, it will give you something and you won't understand it at all. But if you ask for a worked example, this is the hack. It will tell you step by step how to come to this conclusion. So you're not just getting the final thing, you are getting a series of steps which you can go through, and each step is small in terms of cognitive requirement, and you actually be able to learn, remember, and retain that information and that step. And your brain will remember in a chain so that you might remember 4 out of the 5. But then remembering the other 4 forces your brain to recall the 5th one. Because your brain likes to associate this thing's related with this thing. It links patterns in that way. So I actually think that LLMs are learning on steroids because now you have access to a speaking encyclopedia that can break down problems for you, like a tutor, your own personal tutor. It is insane, actually. There was one leak code problem that I did. For some of you, may be super easy, but I learned the breadth first search to such a degree that it's burned into my brain. And it only took me a few times to get that. What's my preference? I use all of the LLMs, but I prefer Gemini just because I have a subscription for it. So right now we're bootstrapping Argo. We should have our instances back right now. Yeah, we do. We've probably got our security group running. Let's see, where is it? App server and inbound rules. We're good here. Pulumi, I'm actually really enjoying Pulumi. I like it more than Terraform, more than CloudFormation, actually. K.origin. What I think is important here is that in LeetCode example, AI only has one problem to solve at scale with mass features, upstreams, downstreams. If you know the why, you can reason way better. Yeah, it's super contained. It's been trained on the problem, and so it's very good at teaching those things. Less so when it comes to a problem that requires lots of context. How much is it costing me per month? I haven't even been running it for a month, but so far it's cost me like 13 Australian dollars. So we're all done here for the provisioning. And then did it do the oh, it couldn't list the pods because nothing's reconciled yet. But then we can open this again. I'm not running EKS, no, because I want to do everything myself. Because I'm trying to learn. So we'll open this again. We can go and run kubectl, no such host. The ALB is wrong. We've got a new ALB. Oh, I've got to download those artifacts again, which I should remove from from GitHub Actions. Let's see. There should be permissions for the actions actually, right? Actions, runners, general, allow, permissions, read repository, read write, allow to. I think because it's a public repo, you just have to. You can't hide stuff, so that's fine. I think we're okay because of the security group. Where are the artifacts? Caches, runners, usage, attestations. Oh, whoops, it's back here. I should look into Flux. Isn't what's it called? Isn't Argo the like more modern version? Isn't that the case? Whoa! Back tracks. Thanks, mate. 5 gift memberships. Who are the lucky members? We got Wick2 up, Aditya, Obo, another Aditya, and Forcon. Is that right? Cool, man. Congrats to each of you. And thank you once again, Backtracks. Am I using ChatGPT AI to help you? Yes, I am using AI to help. Quick tip: T4G small instances most of the time are on free trial. Yeah, I went with AMD instances just because I didn't want any complications. All right, we've got our nodes. We've got some pods. Oh, they're looking better. Where is the Amazon one? Crash loop back off. Notifications controller. Have I considered doing videos like Alex Forsyth? I haven't seen his stuff. Web dev, stream tools, blueprints. Oh, he does game dev, huh? That's cool. What's his most popular things? This is his most popular video. What's this?
You know, my mother used to say a long time ago.
Is this when he says,
whenever there would be
"You're learning so many things"?
Any really catastrophe that was in the movies or on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. There will always be helpers, you know, even just on the sidelines. That's why I think that if news programs could make a conscious effort of showing rescue teams, of showing medical people, anybody who is coming into a place where there's a tragedy, to be sure that they include that. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
Huh. Cool. Good advice. Good advice. That's so funny that that's his most popular video. And then the rest is like game dev stuff. Cool. But your question was like, have I considered doing videos like his? I don't know. Primogen needed a competition? I'm not sure if I'm competing with the Primogen. I'm a fan of the Primogen. I watch his videos. I was watching one of his videos just today. The Primogen was actually part of why I switched to NeoVim. What tips would you give me for getting a promotion raise? I suck at that kind of stuff, man. You heard the song he's done. Which one? He's got a few, doesn't he? The visualizations on his videos are the main thing. Oh, okay. Let me see one of them, if I can. Which one do you recommend? Like this one, or this one?
Unreal Engine gives you multiple options for programming games. You can use C++.
Like the animations? Is that what you mean?
System. Some of the differences between C++ and Blueprints are pretty self-evident. With C++, you're writing code using a general-purpose text-based programming language. Blueprints are more visual and more specifically tailored to higher-level gameplay. These two snippets might look pretty different, but they give us the exact same result.
There is a framework that I am aware of. What was it called? Who was that? Programmable animation diagrams. What was it called? Tech. Oh man. Manium, mermaid. No, it's none of these. It's none of these. Animations as TypeScript or video. I think it's motion. I think it's called motion. Motion canvas. Motion canvas. Let me see this. YouTube motion canvas. Yeah. It's this guy.
Some time ago, I presented to you Motion Canvas, an animation software I use to make my videos. It's a TypeScript library that uses generator functions to define animations, together with an editor that provides a real-time preview. But I already talked about this in my previous video.
Like, this is all
Today, I'm
animated.
happy to announce that Motion Canvas has
I
been
think.
officially released as a free and open source tool.
I think it
You
is.
can visit the link in the description.
Well,
to
this
try
is
it
his
yourself.
browser, I guess.
Important change is the introduction
But
of
this
signal,
kind of stuff.
a concept we borrowed from other UI libraries. A signal represents a value that can change over time, but its power lies in the ability to define dependencies between values.
This kind of stuff.
As an example, let's create a new signal, representing a radius with an initial value of 3. Now let's create a signal for the area of a circle. Only this time we provide it with a function that uses the radius to calculate said area. We can retrieve the value of a signal by invoking it. A signal like this will keep track of its dependencies, in this engine.
This kind of stuff.
By default,
It
nodes are
seems
positioned
really
relative
awesome.
to
I want to learn how to
dependence,
do this.
which is good enough for most cases, but if we'd like to turn this node and its children...
But yeah, I haven't really put the time towards learning this, but it seems really cool. So what do we have? Oh, we've got the pods. Let me see the pods. Crash loop back off. What's wrong with this guy? What was it? Describe pod / this and argo cd. No routes to host. 24406. Probably that instance doesn't exist. Yeah, it doesn't exist. That's why. I like the animation Claude does for network spine examples. Huh. How do I think development will change now that agents can one-shot decent story cards? I just think that, like you said, like decent one-shot decent story cards, it's like a lot of the smaller, perhaps, I think we're going to do a bunch of stuff that maybe previously we thought wasn't worth it. We're going to start doing a lot of those little small things that weren't worth it. Maybe even like medium-sized things that weren't worth it. I don't know. Plan on daily streams? I'm not sure if I could do daily streams, to be honest. But I'll try to stream as often as I can. So now let's see. We don't have the AWS stuff. Okay. Got a cube, tellus config in this repo. Installed kubectl and telesctl. I'm troubleshooting the deployment. Current problem is CCM. Seems missing. Do we have a load balancer? Network load balancer? Yeah. There's no NLB for Valheim. And then let's see. It needs the ALB. Oh, it doesn't need the ALB. Not sure what the probe could be. I have no hypothesis. Doing this the hard way. Apparently I'm not doing this the hard way, because the hard way is Kelsey Hightower's guide, which is the super hard way. My goal with YouTube and streaming, it is I don't have massive ambitions. I just I want to learn things and then share them. And so like I kind of want a win-win situation where I learn stuff, um, other people learn stuff, and also I'm kind of marketing myself in a way if I produce good videos. But the live streams, they're less about marketing and more about just encouraging myself to learn something. Do I even leak code at all? Yes, I do leak code when I can. You just tuned in. What's going on? We've got a Kubernetes cluster in AWS. These nodes are running Talos Linux. And right now, I'm just trying to get Google Anti-Gravity to troubleshoot the pods and the configs. What's it trying to do here? We're trying to get a pod running and then connecting to it. Yeah, it's my first time learning Kubernetes. Do I use coding agents a lot? I would say lately, yes. I mix between a few of them. I've tried Pi, I've tried AMP, I've tried Claude, I've tried Anti-Gravity, and I kind of like them all. It's trying to make a directory, Scratch, and Talos CTL. So it's making a temporary directory. Okay, fine. You haven't handwritten code in 6 months? How do you feel about that? What should you visit in Athens? I don't know because I am not from Greece. I'm Greek by blood, but I was born in Australia. But Athens is cool. I've been there once. The live stream will be uploaded, yes. If you go to my YouTube, there's a tab here, live. This one here. It shows all my previous live streams. When will I do gaming streams? How do we feel about gaming streams? I should apply to HashiCorp. That'd be pretty cool, man. That's cool. I didn't know they're I never what why is it showing me in Korean? Did I go to the wrong HashiCorp? What's going on here? English, please. The end goal for Kubernetes, once I feel like comfortable with Kubernetes, I feel like I've set it up, I understand it, and I feel like I can manage it, I'm going to delete the whole thing. And then I'll probably make a video on like my tips for how to set it up, I suppose. It feels like a waste of time hand coding. I guess it depends what you consider a waste. Like, have you ever heard of the law of equal trades? Or the law of equivalent trade? Or equivalent exchange? B. Diddy? You legend. Congrats to everyone who got a gifted membership. And thank you, B. Diddy. That's awesome, dude. Very kind of you. If this fails, check your AWS security groups. Have you tried spinning up a pod within a node, pinging another? No, I haven't. I haven't tried that, no. San Benedetto water bottle. Yeah, we got it. We import those from Italy. Why delete? I'm just going to delete the stack. I don't need Kubernetes. I'm just learning it. Isn't that what Thanos had to do for one of the stones? This thing? No, I was responding to I think it was Brad. Yeah. If hand coding feels like a waste, I would say I refer to the law of equal trades, where maybe this doesn't explain it very well. It's a philosophical and economic principle stating that to obtain something of value, an equal and corresponding value must be sacrificed or traded. Basically, it's a long way for me to say, like, is it a waste? I think no. I think that by doing it, you're actually gaining something. And whether you're aware of the thing you're gaining, I don't think that invalidates that you actually do get something out of it. HashiCorp, let me see these. I don't even know which of these I would pick up, Let's see. Software. Location. They got anything? Let's say the United States or UK. Vault. Secure products. Vault. DevOps. Let's see that. Bro is taking big risks by trying to learn with Gemini. Why? You don't like Gemini? They're writing with React, Angular, JavaScript. This is a DevOps role, and they've got React front end with DevOps. The thing is, I don't know. Maybe if they come say hi, I'd be open to talking to them, I guess. How's the progress? Well. Oh yeah, I forgot. Gemini is troubleshooting right now. What have I missed anything? Have I missed anything? When building for deadlines, I don't need to write the same CRUD code I've written for 15 years again. Yeah, I get that. Why don't I get course of Kubernetes and study and understand them very well instead of waste some time? You think I'm wasting my time right now? I think I'm learning stuff. Do I prefer working single monitor? I have a single monitor right now, yeah. Azerbaijanis. Cool. I commented upon the loops thing said by the Claude code creator. I think it's, well, if it's so, have you noticed that when they say stuff like you need to be doing this or that with AI, they never actually demonstrate it. They say something that goes viral, but they never actually show you how to do it. Have you noticed that? What's the difference between provisioning on AWS and, for example, K3D and Tilt? I have no idea. Man, look how many commands it's running. This is crazy. Let me try one of these. No resources found. What do you mean? It's trying to figure out what Envoy's doing. It reckons that Talos is defaulting to flannel. Really? I've never used NixOS. Do I recommend getting certificates? I think yes. Why not? Delete daemon set. That's weird. I did not use Fable, no. Noob question. Oh, I've already answered that. What advice would I give to a graduate working as a software dev in Melbourne? I don't know. What problem are you facing? It's an interesting view on looking at things, but still, have I tried it? What, tried what? Loops? No, I haven't. I've not seen any information on how to properly do that. See ya, VIO512. It's waiting for the control plane to reboot. Did I disable it? Anti-gravity is just kind of a bit weird with permissions. Like it asks for permission for a really long command. I guess it's more safe. I guess I don't know. I've been using Pop! OS for I don't know, like maybe a year or something. The animation thing was called Motion Canvas. It's this Motion Canvas. I want to learn this at some point. The problem is, I think we use a lot of AI for building, not really learning like system design stuff. Why Pop! OS? I made a video on it, but it's basically because it just has better support out of the box for random hardware. Next.js and Envoy was the best thing I've learned. Why? What's good about Next.js? Can you tell me? Few things to check. Oh, you mean this? Yeah, it's checking so many things and it's rebooted the control plane. Like, it seems, you know, it seems weird what it's trying to do. I don't like what it's trying to do, to be honest. I'd rather probably figure it out myself. Oh, obviously this isn't going to work because... Wait, it's rebooting the workers. I'm going to tell it no, and I'm going to say, explain what you're doing. And progress report. Envoy over Trafic. I don't know. I would choose Envoy because I personally know Envoy more. But why did I choose Ghosty? Because it's cool. And it's written in Zig. I don't know. It's cool. How do I feel after becoming viral? It's pretty cool. It's a blessing. It's nice to have like a lot of basically free marketing, I suppose. The core issues diagnosed. CNI conflict, Flannel versus Cilium. By default, it installs Flannel. Since you also deployed Cilium, both were running simultaneously and fighting over pod network routing. This broke internal cluster networking, causing pods to fail with no route to host errors. I think this is wrong, actually. This was happening. Okay. Let me tell it what's up. The no route to host, I think, was happening because IPs of old worker nodes were being referenced. I'm pretty sure that's what the actual problem was. Because of the network routing failure, the repo server and Argo CC server pods were failing and crashing. Since it was broken, it couldn't reconcile the root app, which included the CCM and the Envoy gateway. The Talis node configs did not have external cloud provider enabled. Without this, the kubelets on the nodes register without an external cloud provider setting. All right, please fix the external cloud provider in the code in the repo. Infrastructure code update. Added config patches for both control plane worker node configs. Disabled the default CNI to give Cilium full control. Okay, that's fine. Enabled that. Okay, so it's already done that bit. How do you know 100% it was flannel? And then applied them with Pulumi up, but it requires a passphrase. Yeah. Cleaned up flannel, deleted the duplicate kube flannel daemon set, rebooted the nodes. We want for the build to set these things up for us with Pulumi and all that. I'll commit and then it'll deploy. The nodes have finished rebooting. I wanted to run a quick query to verify the status. Keep checking in the meantime. So what did it change? Let's see. It changed. So we got this thing where it's got the external cloud provider, and then it's setting the CNI to none. Is that necessary? Is this really necessary? Should I just not bother with Cilium then? It translated you to real Kubernetes. Let's go back a little bit. Gemini going down the wrong path? I think so. Vasilius, what should a fresher be doing? Good grip on full stack. People say I should have some impact. Yeah, unfortunately, depending on where you work, you need to be able to describe the value that you're producing using quantifiable things. Web to NLB to Envoy to service to pod. 100%, I agree. It should be straightforward. I don't work at a service-based company as the performance-based stuff there isn't there much. I don't know what that question means, to be honest. Yapper is back. Welcome back. Invest in Quen. Are these local models, or do you mean like through a paid service? Self-healing aspect is the most intriguing. Man, I don't think things are self-healing at the moment. I don't get that impression. Why are there 10,000 flavors of Linux? I don't know. Everyone has their own opinion of how to package their OS, their kernel. Is Gemini... So Gemini CLI is deprecated, and they're using anti-gravity at the moment. It's okay. Like, the model I'm using is Flash with medium effort, so it's going to do some dumb stuff. So it's kind of expected. I don't really care. Like, I use the lower powered and more fast models because I don't really care. I understand the sovereignty part of it. I just want to know the difference. Like, why is there Alpine versus Ubuntu? Yeah. Well, those three in particular, Alpine is very minimal, generally used for containers. Ubuntu is like very user-friendly. Kali is security-focused. So they all have different uses. Been learning building in Rust for 1 year. I'm undergrad. Any companies to target? Cloudflare. Cloudflare, Amazon, Microsoft. Who else uses Rust? Who else uses it? Hello, Vasilius. I'm Zhang from China. We currently have a job opening. Would I be interested? New employees cannot have tattoos. Oh, it's you, Zigzag. Zigzag, what are you doing, dude? You keep making these stories. You keep making these strange stories. I'm wondering why. Apple uses Rust? Do they? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Do I really need to do this? For the it's setting a Talos machine configuration, and it's setting a patch to. I'm just going to do it and see what happens. All the coding troubleshooting makes me glad I stuck to networking. We're kind of doing both. Kinda. I'm learning low-level stuff. I started learning C++ mainly because of Unreal Engine game dev stuff, but now Rust and C++ thing kind of confusing me. What do you mean? What's confusing about it? I've been learning Kubernetes for a week or less. What's it trying to do here? Helm show values. Okay. Coding the right way looks confusing. You should see how I code. You should show us how you code. How's it going with Kubernetes? Did I check the virtual kubelet? Was that you that made that comment about a virtual kubelet? Is that a real thing? Virtual kubelet. I haven't checked it. Do you think that junior DevOps guys should know Kubernetes? Yes. Do I have experience with JetBrains? Yes. I used to use PyCharm. If you stream on Twitch, message me there so I can find your channel. Open source kubelet, which masquerades as a kubelet. It allows Kubernetes nodes to be backed by virtual kubelet providers, such as serverless cloud platforms. What's that even mean? Huh. I don't understand. They have a marketing problem, I think. What NeoVim setup am I using? You can check my dot files. Just go to my channel. Go to my links. My GitHub's here. You can see my dot files. And in here, you'll find my NeoVim configuration. People saying that Rust is the future and C++ is going to be obsolete. People are trying to obsolete C and C++, but it's going to take a long, it will be around for a very long time. For at least the next 2 decades. I use JetBrains, but planning to stop paying and move to NeoVim, though I'm not a good typer. You might You might become a better typer through using NearVim. I'm not sure. Why learn Kubernetes if 99% of systems are not in a need for containerization of microservices? I don't know if that's even true. Why am I learning Kubernetes? Just because I've been putting it off for a while. I mentioned the invisible Kubernetes, and I suggested it as use Kubernetes API, but don't care about scheduling where it runs, how it runs. Right. I guess I'll have to look into that a little bit later to see how exactly it works. Did I start from zero with Kubernetes? Yes. Error from server, name Argo CD. Oh, that's fine. I don't use any database IDE at the moment. I don't use that. Turn on the Vim plugin for JetBrains. Yeah, that's probably the better advice is keep using your JetBrains IDE, but then use Vim, use the Vim plugin inside. Do I think the amount of open source C code out there supporting all these abstractions of infra, can Rust or anything really replace C? I think Rust can replace C and C++. It's just a matter of labor. Would the build be expensive? I've spent like $15 so far, so it's okay. What's all this? We've got crash loop backoff, Cilium, EBS. We've got Argo CD, Cilium Envoy. There's no Envoy gateway. There is a cloud controller manager and it's running. Telos, containers, unhealthy readiness probes. They're probably just not ready yet. Cilium operator establishing IP address 1096. Is that even right? Hold on. That doesn't seem like the right address. Why aren't I replying to your question? I have to find your question now. You're learning DE. I'm not sure what that is. Have I seen Crossplane? Only briefly. I looked at it the other day, but I didn't look at it for very long. Do I have a goal? The goal is just to learn and be comfortable with Kubernetes. Don't see the point in Rust. You don't see the point in it? Really? I'm surprised by that. Keyboard, I'm using a Newfie keyboard. Go to my channel, click on this link, Newfie, and they've got a sale on right now, 30% off. But make sure you click on my link here in my channel because it's an affiliate link. And then, yeah, I want to get... I already have 2 keyboards, but I want to get the Node, this one. I think this one. I'm not sure if I want high profile or low profile. But these look pretty cool, you have to admit. And if I was to get it, I'd probably get the Blush Max switches. Or Blush Nano. Brown if you want more of a sound to the keyboard. Blush if you want it to be more quiet, I would say. But yeah, check out my links. Newfie, right there. Data engineering. I don't know anything about data engineering, so I can't really help. Am I a watch guy? Yeah, a little bit. I have 4 watches, all of them mechanical. 1 diver's watch, 1 chronograph, and 1 with a moon phase. What aspect of Kubernetes, infra, consumer, nice tool, but don't drown yourself in crossplane anytime soon. Crossplane is Terraform for Kubernetes. Okay. YouTube recommended. Cool. Keychron. Yeah, I've heard that they are good. What switches are in your keyboard? Because they can be quite loud. The diving watch is a Seiko. X Prospects Diver Green. Not that one. Not that one. I think it's this one. This one. No, not the Heritage, is it? Oh, yeah, it is this one. Yeah. Do I smoke? Socially, I smoke cigars, yeah. But I haven't had one for like months now. So where are we at now? We've got failed scheduling, no nodes available. That's fine. I think these just weren't ready at the time. They just weren't ready, quite ready, I think. Let's see. Has it created a load balancer? No, it has not. Can we connect? Let's see. Can we... Does my kubectl command still work? Yes, it does. Okay, we've got 2 errors here. I want to see the cloud control error. Container already present on machine and can be accessed by the pod. So you're telling me it's already running? But I only see 1. Huh. You tuned in and we're looking at watches, yeah. Gateron Brown. Brown switches aren't too offensive, I would say. The easy but more expensive way is to install AWS load balancer controller into your cluster and let it create ALBs for every route. $45 a pop? Really? Hmm. It's applied the changes. However, the manifests are currently unstaged and uncommitted. Really? Region. And do I really need to specify this? Yeah, I'm just learning Kubernetes. Do I really need to specify these? Okay, but make the region derived by where Pulumi is deploying, I guess. You got a Black Bay 58. That's cool. Tudor. Yeah, that's cool. Ooh. You know, I have looked at these in person, and I I've looked at them a few times actually. I've just never been. I like them, but I've never been tempted to buy them. I guess it looks way too similar to my Seiko. That's probably why. Yeah. Git checkout. No git commands. Right to the file. What tool am I using for checking git code changes? It's my NeoVim. What's my stack? I don't know. Just I think about stuff. I don't know. I learn stuff when I can. Start with kind of K3S. Really? You reckon I shouldn't even try like all this stuff that I'm doing? Instead of hard coding the region, we have modified the Pulumi code to set the IMDb blah 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 hop limit to 2. Metadata options. What the fuck is hop limit? Because pods run in a containerized network space, requests to there take an extra hop exceeding the limit and timing out. By setting it to 2, both this and this pods will be able to contact it, discover their region. Oh, okay. That's fine. Is that really what the issue was? Allow pods to hit AWS local metadata service. Really? Is there a service I'm trying to run? I'm trying to run a Valheim game server. But I'm gonna delete the whole thing after I've like got it up and running. I should absolutely try if you have the time and like to learn stuff. Was that to me? Right now, you're just playing AWS Network Engineer, and you're in a state where you're mixing plain Kubernetes with AWS land features. In the real world, you will just use EKS and move on. Will I, though? Like, is that what people do generally? The story of most divers. That all the diver watches look the same? Yeah, they pretty much do look the same. But is is Black Bay considered a diver's watch? Is it a diver's watch? It looks like it, so must be. So I push that change, right? So see ya later, Priyak. What LLM am I using? Gemini at the moment. There are companies literally like, wait, when you get it done, make sure you save the code or something, sell it as data, so they can one-shot a Valheim server. You can one-shot a Valheim server by just running a single container. The 58 GMT with 5 links looks amazing. Huh. Still important to know how Kubernetes works, and EKS abstracts all that away. Yeah, the costs of EKS is something that I'm a little curious about. As far as I researched, there's a bunch of costs for EKS, and also it's running like Amazon Linux or something like that. I can't imagine being in your position as someone learning and seeing so much noise in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. What made me learn OCaml? Jane Street wanted to hire, well, they offered to interview me, and I got excited, And then they decided they didn't want to interview me. But in the meantime, I started learning OCaml. You'd probably never roll a cluster from scratch if the deploy target is one of the big clouds. Right, but I'm only using AWS because it's a convenient place to run hardware. But if I wanted to run Kubernetes on bare metal, you can obviously see how like only knowing how to use EKS would be problematic. I would love to work at Jane Street, but I'm not sure if I'm good enough at the moment. Why not Haskell? I don't know. Apparently, OCaml is more similar to Rust than Haskell is. Cool. All the Amazon and EBS stuff are. So the goal right now is to figure out why the AWS pods are broken, basically. Something is wrong with them right now. Wow. It's a lot of errors. IAM permissions? You think so? You're a security researcher and seeing me do this cloud stuff and Kubernetes makes you want to learn it? Is that so you can hack it or something like that? EKS is $70 a cluster plus the normal VM costs, but you can use tools like Carpenter with spot instances to pay less. Fair enough. I think, yeah, I've heard about Carpenter. I don't know anything about MLOps. If I can one-shot a Valheim server with a container, because I don't care about Valheim, that's just the pod that I'm going to run. Well, I care about Kubernetes for learning, and then the way I can prove that like Kubernetes is working is that I can access this pod. And the way that it's going to be accessible is if I have the Kubernetes cluster with the Envoy gateway and the Amazon Cloud Controller Manager and the UDP routes for Envoy and all that kind of stuff. The nodes need IAM to provision and access resources. They do have that permission. Role, instance role. They have all these permissions. Let me see. Describe, create. Wait, is there more than this? Elastic load balancing, it can do everything. I mean, I could bust this role right open and let it do everything just to see. Is the service account role that is being given to the pods default or a specific one? That I don't know. Let me see. This one is AWS Cloud Provider. Would it be somewhere in here? I'm not sure. Does the pod have the not sure. Yeah, so EBS. Oh, we've got a crash from Cilium. Cilium operator is crashing. 10 restarts. Yes, the pods will have access. Here's how it's wired up. In main, you have an instance role attached to instance profile. This has the cloud provider. And then pod auth is pod authentication via the instance profile. Because there's no IRSA injecting into these pods, both the controller manager and the EBS will automatically fall back to using the EC2 instance metadata service. So they should have the role. What's the logs for the cloud controller? It's saying already present and can be accessed. That doesn't seem like an error, does it? Doesn't look like an error to me. kubectl get pod logs. Does describe get the logs? Logs pod name. Oh, this is a little bit different. Cloud provider could not be initialized. Operation error EC2 IAM. Huh. Neither kube config nor master was specified. Feature gates, then this, then loading region from metadata service, but it wasn't able to. That is expected. The currently running pods are still on the old EC2 instances. What? But I pushed out the change. Hold on. Let's avoid that change there. I'm pretty sure I deployed it. Hold on. Can I check these instances to see if they have that? Where would it even be? In their launch template? No. It's not here. Delete all. You're saying delete all the pods. Why not Claude? I don't know. I don't care. Logs timed out. Hello, Dan. Hey, how's it going? Instance role. I check that instance profile on the instance. This one? Do I type anti-gravity? I type AGY. Cloud provider is the permissions. And then we've got this. So all of load balancing is allowed. Quen 3.5. How do I use that though? Oh, use the desktop version. That's cool. Is that the instance that Cloud Manager was on? Is it on the control plane? I think it's on the control plane, isn't it? It's the same role, though. They all have the same role. Same role. What did it say? Metadata options. Metadata options. What is metadata options? On the EC2? Hold on. I've never heard of this metadata options. It's under the actions. Oh, right. So maybe instance metadata options, IMDS v2 hop limit 2. So it's got the correct hop limit. I checked. It has hop limit equals 2. Is this a paid AI model? Yeah, I subscribe to Google One, and so you get a free Gemini with that. Check the others for the hop limit. Instance settings. Yep, they've got the hop limit. I think it was set by Pulumi with the recent deployment. I could destroy these and get Pulumi to create them again. If I just delete these, I can... I'm going to just get rid of these. And Pulumi will just recreate the instances, and it should be a lot quicker than breaking the whole stack and whatnot. I'm not using a MacBook. This is a desktop PC running Linux. There's no SSH because these nodes are running Talos Linux. Olama. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do any local LLM stuff. Does Talos support pre-flight checks? I'm not sure. Not sure. Oh, what's happened here? Why is one of them still running? Something... Who... What? How did that get created? Oh, it's from the ASG, of course, yes. The ASG is going to repopulate those. And then we'll just kick off this again. And it should put the control plane back. And then run the bootstrap. And we'll see how that goes, I guess. You asked Gemini in Gemini CLI to SSH into a server, and this idiot is searching the Docker containers on my host PC. I find it... I had some difficulty with it trying to SSH the other day. The theme I'm using in Neovim is this one. I should add that to my frequently asked questions. Freak. What's going on here? What else have people been asking me a lot today? I've already got my keyboard there. Computer specs, operating system, glasses. That'll do. Oops. Add bit more thing. Linux bros love to ask for dot files and then judge you. Yeah, well, if you go to like if you go to my channel, I've got all my links here. The FAQ is there, my GitHub's there. So you can find everything. It's all here on my channel. And even on this page where the FAQ is, you've got links to my GitHub from here, my LinkedIn, my resume. It's all here. It's all there. Do I have access to Fable or Mythos? No, I don't. Does Talos require a special manual route for the metadata service as an immutable system? I don't think so, because it's the pods that are trying to access the IMDS. They pulled it, didn't they? Yeah, Fable. You can't use Fable at the moment because of the U.S. government. Where? I can't see how like Pulumi recreated the control plane. It's not here. In my experience, it's always service accounts, IAM, DNS, or security groups. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I could try opening the IAM to allow everything, but it was it had some kind of like routing issue or something like that. Control plane. Now, for some reason, it's not creating this control plane. And I want to know why. Is it like gated behind some really stupid if statement? I terminated nodes. Yes. Bro, don't spam. Especially not with questions like that. All right. Thanks for your help so far, Brad. Twitter nodes repopulated the workers. I tried to recreate the control plane with Pulumi, but it skipped over it? Maybe something in the Pulumi. Why don't I use high? I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're going to figure it out no matter what. So, you know. When you manually terminate or delete a resource, oh, it hasn't tracked the state, so it still thinks that the control plane is alive because in the S3 bucket it says that it is. Yeah, so we've got to wait for this to finish. Wait. Yeah, so I can run this to refresh the Pulumi stack. Are you also exploring Pulumi? I am, yes. I started messing about with Pulumi like a couple days ago, and I like it. Seems pretty cool. It's basically like Terraform, except instead of specifying like HCL and this declarative sort of config, you have it's almost imperative in a way. I haven't looked through this whole thing, but maybe Terraform's the same, but I guess it creates a graph of all the resources, and then if one depends on the other, it handles that. I think Terraform does that. What made me choose Pop! OS? Because it has good support for hardware out of the box. Have I tried CDK? No, I haven't. But CDK is only Amazon, right? Whereas Pulumi is like for everything. So I think I cancel this workflow. That should be safe. Is Pulumi similar, like it's actually declarative with an imperative trench coat? That's what it feels like, yeah. CDKTF to generalize it. Oh, okay. That should cancel soon. Okay, that should be canceled. Run it again. This time now it should create the control plane. And we'll see how the bootstrap goes. Now, what's the theory? The theory is that now we set the hop limit, and apparently the hop limit's fine. And then it's going to boot up. It's going to get bootstrapped with all the kube configs. It's going to try to start the AWS CCM pod. That pod is then going to try to hit IMDS to get its like instance profile or whatever. And then it's going to try to create some load balancers because the Envoy gateway is requesting them. Right? And the last time I checked, what was the error? Could not init cloud provider. Context deadline exceeded. And we had, right, so we need at least CCM to be running. So then we can get Envoy gateway running. So then we can get the Valheim server running. We also need EBS to work too. So I guess if this doesn't work, the next thing we're doing, then I would need to maybe open the IAM role completely to see if that fixes it. And then at least I would know. Is this how I learn all new things? Pretty much, yeah. Automatically delete workflows, keep it clean. Is that, are you responding to someone? Deleting. Opening the security groups. What are my plans if my YouTube channel pops off and I become famous? I already feel a little bit famous. I'm just going to do what I'm doing. These live streams are fun. It's nice that like a couple hundred people come in. But my starting goal with the channel was just learn things, share what I learned, document stuff that I do in a way that like maybe helps or inspires others. Pretty much that's the goal. Try to get better at everything as I go along. Like the video production is really unfamiliar for me as well. Did I know that I can export Excalibur? Yes, I did know that. Oh, and give it to Gemini? And scaffold the drawing. That's interesting. Can't post links. My script builds to automatically delete workflow runs. Oh. So this is now waiting for the control plane to be healthy. We have the control plane here. It's initializing. You did that with Fable. And holy shit, it said always do that. Oh. In terms of AI and different options, do you feel like there's a huge difference between state-of-the-art models? To be honest, no, I don't feel like there's much of a difference. I don't feel like there's much of a difference. What's this? Repos. Delete in Python. Delete GitHub action workflow runs. Oh. Interactive. What have we got here? Single script. Standard library. Cool, cool. You got... Did you vibe code this? Yes, the video will be uploaded onto my channel. Can I summarize my approach? You're literally watching me do it. It's still waiting for the control plane. Checks are passing. I guess it should become ready at some point. I should be able to hit the refused at the moment. Probably it hasn't become healthy on the load balancer. Listener, what's it? 6443, and then target group. Unhealthy, yeah. So it has to become healthy first. So I was using kubeadm at some point, but then I've moved on to using Talos Linux. What's my favorite thing to build? Anything in Rust, basically. Any Rust programs. I like Rust a lot. 80%. I forget. Oh, yeah, okay. 80% vibe coded, yeah. Yeah. Handling rate limits. Doing subprocess commands. Paginated endpoints with separators. With yeah, you could have saved yourself a lot of pain by using dependencies here. I'm curious about the prompt that you use, or the prompts that you use to build this. That's cool though. I'll check it out in a bit. Is this thing ever going to become healthy? I wonder. Can I just tell it to send the traffic anyway? It's kind of annoying. Minimum, let's say change the minimum to 0 or something. I can't disable that. Detail, disable. Routing. Fail open. I don't know, man. I'm growing impatient with this shit. It's gonna run out of time here. Would I know how to get free credits? I don't know. Damn, it has to be 1. Annoying. Targets, still unhealthy. Why though? How can Talos Linux be unhealthy? I cannot SSH. It's running Talos Linux. No. How could it be unhealthy? Assume it's got an elastic IP address, and the private IP is the same. Am I trying to build an entire Kubernetes cluster via GitHub workflow? Yes. Pulumi did not recreate the IP address. But that shouldn't matter for the target group. It doesn't care. It just needs to hit the instance on port 6443. Like, why? Let's see. The health check is just TCP 6443. That's all it is. Just a TCP check. You didn't realize what I'm trying to do? Yeah, I'm trying to set up a build that creates a Kubernetes cluster. Security group, yeah, it should allow, yeah, it's got this. Inbound rules, yeah. Yeah, to the whole thing, yeah. From this security group. Well, here's what I'm going to do. It's going to take a little while, but I'm going to deprovision the entire stack. And then it's time to wrap up the stream because it is 12:30 at night for me. So it is that time where I must stop. And since this deprovision is going to take a few minutes and it's going to be boring, I'll probably deprovision it. I'll keep it deprovisioned, and then we'll continue possibly tomorrow. But that is it. That is it for the stream today. Thank you all for being here. Let's see how many people were in here. We have about 188 people at the moment. But yeah, thanks everyone for chilling. And I'll catch you soon.